guys, welcome back to Paid to Travel, the UGC podcast. Today is a little bit different of an episode. I am actually going to be showing you guys the replay of a webinar that I hosted that is all about how to scale your income as a UGC creator. Basically, the mistakes that you are making that are probably holding you back from landing four-figure deals, getting retainer clients, basically breaking out of the kind of mid-level of being a UGC creator. So if you are a current UGC creator and you are looking to scale your business, this is the episode for you. Also, if you are a beginner and just kind of want to know these more expert strategies as you get into UGC, welcome. This podcast is also great for you. I had a lot of people attending live to this webinar of all different stages of their UGC journey and just got such good feedback from people, and just I know that there is good shit in here. So just basically doing a total replay of the webinar, it's super valuable. In this webinar at the end, I also talk about my new UGC program, which is exactly what we're talking about in this webinar. Basically helping you go from intermediate to expert creator and helping you scale to consistent four-figure months as a UGC creator. I'm so fucking stoked about this program. I know it's going to be literally amazing. I've already had a lot of applications coming through for the program. Starts on September 15th. So if you are listening to this before that, get your butt in here and apply for the program, because I know it's just going to be honestly probably the best live program I've run. So stoked for you to hear more about that as well. Let's jump right into it. Today we're going to be talking about how to scale your income as a UGC creator. Also, if you're wondering what kind of vibe I bring to the function, today I'm bringing red wine to the function. Literally after everything this morning, I was like, I need a moment. I need a glass of red wine. So if you also need a glass of wine or a matcha or coffee, grab it, and I am drinking right there with you. All right. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Maddie. I made six figures my first year as a UGC creator, and now I make around $6,000 a month working very part-time. So usually 10 to 15 hours a week. Obviously that fluctuates a little, but that's my typical hours spent working on UGC and income that I make now. I am also a UGC coach. I've helped hundreds of people become UGC creators, which is so exciting. And yeah, that's what I do in my other time when I'm not working on UGC and coaching. I am traveling a ton, hanging out with my friends, hanging out with my dog. I'm a part-time van lifer and a full-time dog mom. And I'm an Aries sun, Sagittarius moon, Virgo rising. Anybody else know their signs? If so, I want to know in the chat. I love this stuff. So it's right on my alley. If you know any of your signs, put it in the chat because I want to read them. Also, it's Virgo season right now, and I'm very Virgo rising, which is why I always host a webinar or launch a program or something during Virgo season, because I'm just so fired up, organized, energized. Yeah, I love this season. This is a little peek into my life. Some photos of my life over the past couple of years. These are probably from the past 2 years, but love traveling. This is my van. This is my dog Cedar. This is me hiking in Machu Picchu. Did a trek in Peru. If you ever get the opportunity to do it, do it. It's literally amazing. This is me in Iceland. I've been to Iceland 4 times. One of my favorite countries in the whole world. You must go. This was Costa Rica. Okay, this next slide I threw in here because I was making this collage and I was like, okay, this is so curated and yes, that's my life, but also this is my life. I am just one of the girls. This is me yesterday doing maintenance on my van on the side of the road in a tube top. This is me in a hostel bunk with a face mask on. This is me pretending that I am in a cult. This is me not knowing how to hold my nephew because I am not very well versed with children. And I feel like sometimes when you come to these webinars, they're so professional and so put together. And I just want you to know that's not really me. I am a bit chaotic, literally just a girl. And I want that energy to like come through in the screen. And while I do obviously hold that like mentor, teacher, coach role, I also am just very human. And I love just like yapping and showing the real stuff too. So this is me. This is what my life looks like. Okay. If you are one of my students, you know that I always make you guys journal. So we're going to do that first and foremost. I want you to get out a paper and pen or just your notes app on your computer or phone. And I want you to picture this. So picture that it's 1 year from today. You work part-time from wherever you want and are making consistently at least $5,000 a month from UGC. I want you to write down a short journal entry as your future self. So like write in the present tense as if what you want to be happening is happening. So write like, this morning I woke up in my hotel in Greece and my friends are here. I just got a deposit from a $1,000 UGC deal. Like I want you to be very specific about what your life looks like 1 year from now if everything that you are working towards comes true. Get specific. Let yourself dream. Nobody's going to read this. You can burn it, tear it up, whatever. Let yourself be delusional. I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes to just write it out. I'm going to mute myself, and then I will come back in a few minutes.
By the way, this is Marie, Maddie's producer. You are welcome to go ahead and start journaling yourself. I'll put on some nice music for you to journal while you also follow along with this webinar. If you don't want to do that and you're like, give me the goods, you can go ahead and skip ahead. But if you would like to journal along with Maddie with the webinar, I'll put in some nice music for you to journal. Enjoy.
Okay, now that you've got that all written out, work on that summary. Feel free to put that in the chat and then I'll read through some of them. Rebecca, waking up in a van, traveling between the US, Canada, Mexico, consistently making $5K a month from UGC. Wake up and make coffee. walk the dog, film videos, plan content, do yoga, hike, and have time to hang out with my friends and try new hobbies. I will be more comfortable with modeling and have at least 3 retainer clients that I work with monthly, so I'm not constantly chasing one-off deals. I love it. And so many the last session too, so many people, their like journals looked so similar, where it was like, I'm in a van, or I'm traveling full time, or I moved to this other country. And it's just like cool to see how similar so many of us are in like what we want in life, and like the goal of why we want to do UGC and why we want to make money remote. So it's cool to like just see the visions of what you guys are dreaming up for your lives. More people, drop them in the chat. I want to look at them. I want to read through them. And then we will move on to getting into the nitty gritty of the webinar. Also, you should totally get a man and take down to Mexico. I have so many friends who have done that and they love it. I haven't taken the van to Mexico, but I probably will eventually. One year. I will at some point. While you guys are typing those out, I shared this with the last session, so I'll share it here too. But when I was in the last session, I like got an email from a brand and I was like, oh, I should share like how I would reply to this as a creator who's been doing this for a long time. So I had pitched a brand and they got back to me and they're like, we love your content. I think you'd fit super well with our brand. We'd love to work with you. Our budget for like one UGC video is $150. And I charge much more than that now that I am like an expert creator. And so just to give you some insight on like how I would respond to that in order to land a larger deal than just $150. Basically how I would respond is like, hi, I'm so glad that you guys would love to work together. I agree. I think like our vibes totally match. I would love to work together. And then I would be like, my typical rates are XYZ. However, if you bundle, this package of videos together, it's going to get the overall price per video down to closer to what your budget is. So that's a really good way to negotiate and work within a brand's budget without just being like, okay, fine, I'll accept the $150 deal, but be like, okay, how can I get this closer to sort of a middle ground for both of us? So for example, in this case, I would probably pitch like a 5-video package, and you'd probably get that price down to like $200 per video. That's a win-win for all of us. I have more work, I get paid more money, and then they can get closer to their budget. I showed up the last session. I was like, I should just share that with you guys too, because I feel like it's helpful to see kind of what those conversations and negotiations look like from a more expert creator's standpoint. So I'm always just trying to kind of upsell, get them closer to my rates, and just kind of have those negotiation conversations. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to be talking about the 5 mistakes that keep most UGC creators from making consistent 4-figure months. Have you ever felt like you're chasing consistent one-off $200 deals? You're unsure how much you're going to make next month with UGC, or you're just pitching a ton of brands, but hearing it crickets? Or you just feel like, is this ever actually going to become an actual sustainable income source for me, or like a real business? I hear that all the time from creators. And I used to feel like that too. I used to pitch hundreds. Honestly, I used to pitch thousands of brands per month, which is actually so crazy. And just landing like small deals here and there. And there were a few things that took me from making like $1,000, $2,000 a month with UGC to then making consistent 5K months. And I'm going to cover all of those today. So in the next hour, I'm going to break down the 5 mistakes keeping you stuck at your current income level and what to do instead, the power of retainer clients, and a sneak peek at my new program that is going to help you scale your UGC income with confidence. Throughout the webinar, if you have questions, I want you to drop them in the Q&A only section. So right next to the chat box, you'll see a little question mark and it'll say Q&A only. If you have questions throughout the webinar that come up, drop them there. And at the very end, I'm going to refer back to that tab so I don't have to scroll through the whole chat to find your questions. So drop your questions there. All right. Mistake number 1, creating content that looks good, but doesn't actually convert to sales. Oh my God, I see this all the time. And when I tell you, I did this for the first year as a UGC creator. I just did not understand what good content was and how to create content that converted. Brands care about ROI. So they care about the return on their investment. They care about their return on ad spend. They don't care about aesthetics. I really need you to understand that you are selling conversions to brands. That is what they care about. They don't care how it looks. It's two very, very different things. You have to create content with strategy, and that involves a lot of sales psychology. That is the one thing as a creator that you need to be studying sales psychology all the time, over and over again, to really understand how to create ads and how to create content that converts. A book recommendation that I have, and I'll drop this in the chat, is $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. And this is a recommended reading for my students. And this does, I would say, apply more to your pitching strategy and kind of the offers that you're giving to brands. But it will get you in the mindset so much of sales psychology. And I just love this book for that reason. Highly, highly, highly recommend. It's not UGC specific. It's business, general business, but one of the best business books out there. Definitely read it. You are a marketer first and a creator second. If you cannot get brands results, they're not going to work with you again or make a good case study for your portfolio that you can show other potential clients. I want to hit on this a little bit more, actually. I could literally do a whole 2-hour webinar just on this topic alone. There's so much that goes into sales psychology, but I highly recommend just start to do research. There's a lot of resources out there on sales psychology, how to create content that converts, how to structure an ad. You need to be studying these things as a UGC creator so that you can create content that actually converts for brands. This is something I'm going to be covering a ton, very in-depth in my new program. So stay tuned for that too. All right. Mistake number 2, your portfolio doesn't showcase your value. So again, you're not selling content to brands, you are selling results. And your portfolio needs to show that. So you need to have data. You need statistics, case studies, testimonials. That is so important on your portfolio. I cannot stress that enough. Without this, you're going to just secure deals with amateur brands who have amateur budgets. So as an example, you'll see I have stats here, on my portfolio over this video. This one got 718,000 TikTok views organically. This video was ran as an ad for a brand. It got a 5 times ROAS. These are such good stats to add, and they just provide social proof that I know what I'm doing and my content actually converts for brands. I also have a bunch of testimonials like this. One of the new videos has one of the highest hook and watch scores we've ever seen. Oh my God, so good. That's such a good testimonial. Great news. We have at least one big winner from the content package driving great sales at scale. I literally, if I could write a perfect testimonial, that's it right there. You need things like this on your portfolio to show brands you know what you're doing and you are an expert in this. And if you are newer and you're like, Maddie, I don't have any of this. I don't have stats. I don't have testimonials. It comes with time. It comes with time, and it takes you being very intentional with every brand that you work with, whether it's a gifted collab, a lower paying deal, or a retainer client. It doesn't matter. You need to be following up with these brands very intentionally and asking them, hey, would you mind giving me a testimonial? Follow up 2 months after they've run your video as an ad. Hey, just wondering if you knew some of these metrics. Do you know what the click-through rate was for the ad? Do you know what the return on ad spend was? Do you know what the hook score was. Like, these are all things that you need to know in order to showcase them on your portfolio. And you just have to take that in your own hands, and you need to be asking brands for this content. So my UGC Accelerator students, that's one of the like things I hone in on so much. I'm like, as you're building your portfolio, this is so important. You need to be asking brands. Your main goal needs to be getting case studies, getting stats, getting testimonials on your portfolio. All right, mistake number 3, not having an inbound strategy. More than half of my 4-figure deals and retainer clients have been inbounds. What that means is I didn't pitch them, they found me. So maybe that was because they Googled like outdoor UGC creator, or they were searching on Instagram and they found my account. That is what it means to get inbound. And I know that you became a UGC creator, so you didn't have to be an influencer and post on social media, but this is different. You are running a business, and this is just a marketing strategy. It's a really smart marketing strategy to take a lot of the burden off of your shoulders down the line. So like me, I don't even pitch that much anymore as a creator because I get a lot of inbounds. I have a retainer client right now, and they were actually 2 retainer clients that I have right now were inbounds. They found me through social media. I actually asked one of them, I was like, how did you find me? And she was like, I don't remember exactly what we searched, but I think we were looking on Instagram for like outdoor UGC creators, and you came up. So I can't stress enough, making a name for yourself in the industry and having social profiles can seriously be such a benefit to your UGC business. Posting your UGC examples is a marketing strategy. It will pay dividends over time. It's going to save you so much time and energy. I know you hate pitching, so. The best platforms to post on: Instagram, TikTok, and then X or Threads. Historically, that's what I've seen a lot of creators are getting deals from. And you just need to be posting content that attracts brands. So example videos, testimonials, case studies, things like that. And the most important thing is utilizing SEO. So you need to be utilizing SEO on your website, on your Instagram, on your posts, if you post to like X and Threads. So here's an example of my UGC account on Instagram. You can see it's super clear who I am and what I do, and it's super searchable. So if a brand is searching outdoor UGC creator or travel UGC creator, I'm going to come up. And I have all this that just makes it super clear and easy for the brand to learn about me and work with me. So ads and social media content, outdoors, travel, wellness. Again, these are SEO. These are keywords that they're searching for. Over 70 happy clients, UGC coach. I have my email in there so they can easily see it, copy and paste it, email me. And then I have my portfolio linked as well. All right, mistake number 4. You don't know how to speak the brand's language. Your pitch is not about you. It is about them. Brands care about sales. They care about views, engagement, retention, ROI, ROAS, return on ad spend. Like, these are the buzzwords that brands care about. At the end of the day, and again, this ties back to everything I was talking about before with sales psychology. They don't care that you create content. There's so many content creators in the world. They could go on Instagram and find literally 1,000 content creators in the blink of an eye. What they care about is, do you know how to create content that converts? I have helped so many creators rewrite their pitches, and I can literally immediately tell if someone is a newer UGC creator or if they are a seasoned strategic creator. I'm like an expert at what they do. If I can tell, so can brands. Like, they get so many emails from UGC creators. You don't want to just be another UGC creator, okay? The industry is like constantly shifting. It's constantly changing. We're constantly having to learn new strategies and new skills and all these things. And gosh, there's so much I could say about this. You need to position yourself as an expert. This means keeping up with the industry and being able to relay that to brands. So instead of pitching them and being like, I'd love to collaborate with you, like very much just pitching like, oh, I'd love this opportunity, like whatever, they don't care, right? You want to be pitching more of like, here's what I did for my past clients. Let's get you results like this too. Like that is the vibe. Again, that's the vibe we're bringing to the function. We're not bringing, oh, we really want to work with you because your brand's so cool and we're like chasing, one-off deals. Like that's the energy that I'd love to collaborate with you brings. Okay, the second one brings the energy of, I know my value. I know what I provide. I would love for you to be one of my clients if you want these results too. See how that energy is so different? So different. And again, this all goes back to sales psychology. Something I preach and teach my students. And mistake number 5, you're relying on low-paying one-off deals. So this is like you're chasing new clients every month. It's exhausting. Not getting paid what you're worth is straight up soul crushing. Like, been there. It sucks. These types of deals keep you stuck in literally a never-ending loop as a UGC creator. And instead, you want to focus on building long-term relationships with brands and landing retainer clients who pay you every month for content. So there's kind of a few different ways that this can look. So I want to dive into each of these. So first, there's long-term contracts. What this looks like is, let's say a brand wants to work with you for several months for content. So this looks like maybe they'll sign a 3-month contract or a 6-month contract to get content from you each month. Maybe it's you sign a deal where it's like they work with you quarterly. That's what a long-term contract would look like, as opposed to a retainer contract. They're very similar, but a retainer client is like they're working with you every single month after month. It's like if you lived in an apartment and you lived there month to month. Like, I didn't sign a 6-month lease here. I am with them month to month, and until I decide to not live here anymore, I am working with that brand. And so both of these can be really good ways to get long-term consistent income. They just look a little different. And then face of brand, this could be a long-term contract. It could be a retainer, but face of brand basically means you are their main go-to creator for their social media. So when someone goes to their social media, they are, associating your face with their brand. That's what face of brand means. So a face of brand contract could be like 12 videos a month. Let's say you're doing 12 videos for their social media, and you're working with them on a long-term basis for that content. That is what face of brand means. And then I want to throw this one in there, but creative strategy or content strategist, this is becoming more popular as UGC is becoming more popular, because it's a really good way to differentiate yourself from other UGC creators. So being a creative strategist basically means that you are really good at communicating that you know what good content is, you know what converts, and you want to work with them as a long-term partner to help them create content that converts. So when you're a creative strategist, you're able to work with them long-term, month after month, to be like, okay, this content isn't performing well. Let's try this instead. Or this content performs super well. Great. Let's do something similar to that again. And it's just a way to position yourself as an expert and an ad strategist instead of just a creator. You're also having like debrief calls with them. You're talking about the performance of the content. And it's just kind of a way to differentiate yourself and set yourself apart, because when they're getting, hundreds of pitches from, hi, I'm a UGC creator, I'd love to collaborate with you, versus what we talked about as a good pitch. And then you're throwing in, I'm a creative strategist and I'd love to work with you long-term to help you with your creative strategy. It's just a different game that we're playing. You know what I mean? So those are kind of the ways that you can differentiate yourself as a creator and have long-term returning I'm getting tongue twisted clients instead of just like one-off deals. So these are kind of the ways that you can do that. The power of retainer clients. So over the years, retainer clients are basically what built my career as a UGC creator. And the benefits are you get paid every single month, consistent income. Thank you. They are often high paying because they want multiple videos a month. Like I've never had a retainer client where they're like, we want one video from you every month. That could happen maybe if you're working with a brand for ads and maybe they don't do a ton of ads, but they want like, one ad a month from you. I could see that. But usually you're doing at least like 3 videos a month for a brand when you have a retainer client. Right now I have 2 retainer clients. One, I do 3 videos and 5 photos a month for them. And then the other one, I do 5 videos a month for them. And with retainer clients, you become a better creator because you get to stick with a brand long-term. Think about, you know what? This is a good analogy. Like it's like being in a relationship. Like you understand that person so much better. And also you understand yourself better. And you just become better at being in a relationship because you are in a relationship. Like you can't practice that outside of a relationship, right? And so it's like when you work with a client long-term, you're able to get to know their brand really well. What converts for them? What works? What doesn't? You are able to strategize with them. You're going to better understand what all of these metrics mean and what social strategy means, all of these things, because you're in it and you're in it long-term with a brand. You get to analyze what works, what doesn't, and get better results over time for that brand, which again is just going to help you with your case studies, your social proof, and it's just going to totally beef up your portfolio and your pitch. So I've had several retainer clients over the years. So this was actually my very first ever retainer client, and it was $2,650 per month for 16 videos. And this was for a face of brand package. So they were just using these for organic social content on their TikTok and Instagram. This came out to, I think, like $170 per video that I was doing at the time. That was like, I was super happy with that. And also it was just so consistent and at such a volume. Like this was, great income. Versus now, I'm getting paid more than that for 3 videos and 5 photos a month. This actually ended up being more than what this email says, and it's $2,925 a month for 3 videos and 5 photos. And again, this is just like what happens when you know how to pitch, you have proof on your portfolio. And this, again, it just takes time. But even this first one, like for so many of you, I think this would be such an amazing retainer and probably life-changing in so many ways. And then think about a year from now, you could also look like this. So like there's just retainers, long-term contracts, space of brand. These packages can look so different just depending on the brand that you are working with. But a lot of them are like higher paying 4-figure packages. And it's just, I love to see this comparison here. And also I have students who have gotten long-term contracts as well. These are all students from my UGC Accelerator. Brand wants to start a long-term contract in January worth $1,000 a month. Just got off a call with a brand, hopefully be my first retainer client. Brand proposed working with me for what sounds like a retainer basis starting in September. Landed my first retainer client, dream client that I didn't even know I'd want to work for, literally teared up. I'm getting paid $2,100 a month to make 10 videos while getting to travel and get comped stays. Like, that's so cool. Like, to think that one of my students is, I don't know, literally just like taking all this and learning this and landing deals like this. I'm like, yes, this is what it's all about. So I'm not the only one landing retainer clients. I know so many UGC creators who have retainer clients. And again, it's just about knowing how to position yourself, how to pitch, and building those long-term relationships with brands. So let's recap this a bit. So first, you need to learn how to create content that actually converts. You need to make sure your portfolio showcases that. So having stats, case studies, testimonials, etc. Create a social strategy to get inbounds from brands. So really utilizing SEO on socials and on your website to be searchable to brands looking for UGC creators so that you can spend less time pitching down the line. Learning how to speak the brand's language. Again, this comes down to sales psychology, knowing what you're talking about. And then building long-term relationships with brands and landing retainer clients. If you want to screenshot this, write these down. And this is kind of the like screen grab of like, okay, I need to remember these things. But again, learn how to create content that converts. Make sure your portfolio showcases that with proof. Create a inbound strategy. Learn how to speak the brand's language. Learn sales psychology. And build long-term relationships with brands and land retainer clients. So I recommend implementing each of these 5 things in order to scale your UGC business. They significantly decrease your amount of admin and working hours and increase your income over time. Like as someone who has been in this for 3 years, trust me on this. It really is, it's like a shift in your whole philosophy as a UGC creator and stepping into understanding sales psychology, creative strategy, and how to be a long-term asset to brands. So it's not to say you can't build a UGC career off of just like knowing the basics of UGC and like being on platforms or pitching brands just for, you know, some unboxing videos, testimonials, and more aesthetic social media content. Like you totally can. It's just that you're going to get burnt out and they're going to be lower paying deals. So like, that's where this comes in. It's like when you're really looking to make this a business and you're looking to scale and make consistent income with UGC, that's where all of these things come into play. And this shift in your business is exactly what's going to happen inside my new program. I named her Retain Her. Isn't that so cute? It's all about like getting retainer clients. And I was like, such a fun play on words. And this is where women get paid every single month to work with dream brands. Here we land clients worth 10 times more than the average UGC deal, all while traveling the world. So who is Retain Her for? Retain Her is an exclusive high-level program created for women who want to take their UGC income to the next level. So this isn't a beginner program. This is for intermediate creators who are already making an income with UGC and they want to become experts and scale your income. So it's an application-based program too. So you can't just sign up for it. I actually have a application that you go through just to make sure you fit into the program and are eligible. And there's only 25 spots available. Actually, because of this morning, we already had about I think like 6 eligible people apply. So now there's probably like 19 spots. But to be eligible, you have to already have UGC portfolio that I can review and then already be making money with UGC. So those are like the 2 qualifiers. It's a 10-week program where you're going to land your first or next retainer client. So we're going to completely revamp your UGC business and shift your perspective on how to pitch as a UGC creator, taking you from inconsistent income to consistent 4-figure months with UGC. So a lot of what we talked about in this webinar, we're like going so deep into this in Retain Her. It's for the UGC creator who's ready to get unstuck, aka the woman who is ready to stop hustling and start waking up to payment notifications from brand deals while in Peru or Costa Rica, because obviously that's the dream. That's what we all want, right? This program runs live from September 15th to November 23rd. So it starts in about 3 weeks from now. And in these 10 weeks, we're going to audit your entire UGC business to improve your pitch, portfolio, and socials. We're going to utilize proven strategies rooted in buzzword sales psychology to create a pitch that attracts high-paying retainer brands. We're going to craft 4-figure retainer packages that feel like a no-brainer for brands and create a personalized long-term strategy to make consistent 4-figure months with UGC. And obviously, if you know me, you know there's going to be community involved. So we are going to have a whole community chat. We are going to have live weekly calls with the community. I'm going to literally be like this with you the whole way. And you're going to have a community of 25 other people who are just like total badasses going through exactly what you are going through. You're going to make community, make friends, and just not feel so alone in this process. So what do you get? We get in-depth recorded video trainings, weekly live group calls, personal portfolio and pitch reviews, an interactive community chat, and access to ask me questions throughout your journey the whole time, a personalized long-term roadmap, and access to my strategies. And then you'll get spreadsheets, worksheets, templates, things like that. And then just the skills and strategies to land multiple 4-figure retainer clients. Like that's what you're here for. And there's so much value in that. Like just think about if you just even sign one long-term contract. Let's say you sign a 6-month contract worth $1,000. Like that's worth so much in the long run. And you're just going to have these skills and strategies to continue landing clients like that. And that is the goal. So what is the investment for retainer? Always the fun question, right? So the investment for retainer is $1,555 or 4 payments of $415. I always offer a payment plan for my programs. When you pay in full, you also get a bonus. You save $105, first of all, by doing the pay in full. And then you also get a bonus one-on-one coaching session with me that you can redeem anytime over the next 6 months. And if you apply to the program by the end of day today, so August 20th, you will secure $100 off of enrollment. So that you're not putting down a card today, you're not purchasing anything. You just have to fill out your application today to say, hey, I'm interested in the program and putting in my application. So if you do that by the end of day today, then you will secure that $100 off of enrollment. And I just put in the chat, you should see a pop-up, and this should bring you to the main website and page for Retainer, where you can read all about the program, when the calls are, what's involved, all of that. And then the application is linked on that page as well. I will also just drop in the chat the link to it in case anyone isn't seeing that pop up. There you go. But yeah, you'll get first priority by applying today. I'm not launching the program publicly, like to my email list or social media, until tomorrow. So everybody who's attending the webinar has first priority, and you're going to get that $100 off if you apply by the end of day today. So highly recommend doing that. And if you know me, you know I always have a guarantee. I want you to walk into 2026 with at least one retainer client, or I will continue to work with you for free until you do. Your success is not an if, but a when in this program. If you feel uncomfortable investing that much into yourself or your UGC business, I want you to think about this mindset shift. Are you going to be comfortable if you are where you are right now, 6 months from now, or a year from now? Or would you rather be living the life that you wrote down in your journal prompt? The choice, obviously, like it feels obvious to me because I'm on the other side of it, right? Like I have lived it, but I know that it's scary. I know that it's scary investing in yourself. I know that it's scary typing in your credit card info and being like, I'm doing this. I hope it works. And that's why, first of all, I offer a payment plan option, so it's more accessible, and to a no-brainer guarantee. So again, the program ends November 23rd. And if you haven't landed a retainer or long-term client using these strategies by the end of the year, I will continue to work with you until you get that client. We start on September 15th. I would love to have you apply for the program. This is the link again here. I've also dropped it in the chat. Like I said, there's about 19 spots left for the program. Past and present students of mine do receive priority for the program. So if you are a past or present student of mine, get your application in because you're going to get priority over new students. But yeah, fill out your application today if you're interested. Just you can lock in the $100 off and then get priority for that as well. I literally want you to walk away from this program being like, wow, that was the best fucking investment I made all year. Like, I truly going into this program so intentional, so excited. Like, I love community. I love working with people in this capacity. And I've already just like planned so many little like intentional details into this program, and I'm so excited about it. So just know I'm so hyped on this program. And when you come into it, you're going to like feel that energy from me and from the other students that you're going to meet and be in community with. I'm looking forward to reading all the applications and hopefully getting to work closely with you over the next 10 weeks. And I'm dropping this again, just to remind you, it's not that serious. I feel like when we like go through webinars like this, it feels so serious or like, I don't know, stiff. And when someone's selling you something, it can feel like, oh, what's happening? And just a reminder, like, I'm one of you. I'm just a human. I want to help you on this journey and like would genuinely love to have you in the community and in the program if it's something that you feel is the right fit for you. And if you are like, I'm interested, but I'm like hesitant or have questions, you can ask them here now or DM me on Instagram at maddieoutdoors.coach. And I am happy to have a conversation with you, see if it is the right fit for you. Okay. There are literally no questions in the question box. So that's literally wild. You guys are so smart. But if anyone has questions about anything I covered in the webinar today, we have about 8 minutes left till it stops my recording. So feel free to ask me anything. I'll stick around for the 8 minutes. If people have questions about anything that I covered today, I am happy to answer that. I'll just stick around. So if you have questions, feel free to drop them. Question, is it necessary to have a niche? No. You definitely do not have to have a niche as a UGC creator. What I would say is your niche is kind of your demographics and your personality and your aesthetic. Like that is your niche. So even in my case, like I am an outdoor and travel creator, but I work with brands in other niches. So like I've worked with tech companies, I've worked with apps, I've worked with food and beverage companies. I've worked with skincare. I've worked like in a lot of different industries, but what I bring is my, like my niche, like it's hard to say this. So what I'm bringing is that I understand that core audience. I understand an outdoor audience. I understand a travel audience, and I'm creating my content typically from that perspective. So even like I worked with a detergent brand once, and like that's not in the outdoors, that's not wellness, that's not anything, but it's a detergent brand that focused on like clean ingredients and sustainability. And they wanted to cater towards an outdoorsy audience of like the more granola people who are interested in like clean, safe products. And so I was a great person to do that ad because I am in that world and I understand that audience. So I would say that's the difference between like, you don't have to have a niche. You just like your demographic is a niche. So like I have like moms who I've worked with as students, and that's like part of their niche, right? Or like being Gen Z or millennial, that's part of your niche. So that's what I would say about that. Did anyone learn anything new today? Or like what was the most interesting thing? I would be curious to know in the chat. It's also always helpful for me as a coach to see like, what are the main points people are taking away? What are the biggest things they're learning? And I know that can kind of be different from person to person, but it's always very helpful for me to see so that I can continue to like do webinars that are helpful and informational. I learned a lot and I want to sign up for your beginner course. Yeah, you should. If you have questions about the accelerator at all, you can message me. Yeah, 'cause retainer is definitely like intermediate creators who want to go to the expert level. If you are a beginner and you're like, I need more of the basics before this, my UGC accelerator is great for that. So I have that linked on my social media, on my website. If you have questions about that or want the link for that, you can also DM me on Instagram. But it's a great program. 10 out of 10 recommend. I'm glad you learned a lot. I had people from the other session too who were beginners, and they were like, honestly, like loved it. Like obviously I'm beginner, so some of it was a little high level for me, but it's good to just know these things, even just getting into UGC. So yeah, Rebecca went through the accelerator. It's amazing. She said, 1000% recommend the accelerator. Thank you for the high praise. I do love my accelerator students. Any other questions? Any other big takeaways from tonight? Right after this, I am actually filming some content for a retainer client. So we're hopping right from coaching to actually doing the thing. That is my life. Okay, great. No more questions. If there's anyone here who's interested in retainer and you have questions, feel free to message me on Instagram. Again, it's maddieoutdoors.coach. I will write that in the chat. And happy to just talk through anything and see if it's right for you. And highly recommend applying today if you are interested. Again, it doesn't lock you into anything. You don't have to put a card down or anything like that. It's just your application. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for the hour. I hope this was super informative and helpful for you. And if you have any questions that come to mind after this, I'm always on Instagram. You can DM me at any time. And I hope to see you soon. Maybe in retainer. Bye, everyone.